Today was a good trade today. As y'all know, I post all my trades on my story. See right here. Ooh, coming up clear. This is GJ. Boom. As you see, posted it on my story. Up early in the morning, saying I was gonna go into buys. And this is all today, y'all. Boom. Shot up. Oh, I think I even showed before I even entered the trade. Yeah, see, before I entered the trade. And then here is us after. And there we go. So now that y'all see that, just message me for mentorship of it. And I have a YouTube to where if you just want to know, dive deeper into it, each of these videos have a different client. So you can just watch all these videos before you even message me. So you're fully understanding. And yeah, let me just break this straight down because this happened literally just 30 minutes ago, maybe. Let me clear all this up. So basically, I went to my daily time frame, and as you see, we are in buys. Where's my trend line? Boom, we're in buys. Simple, easy. You don't have to do too much about it. Let's go down to the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we are still in buys. Simple, easy. We don't got to do too much about it. We're going to go down to our 30-minute. All right, cool. So we are at our 30-minute. You see that we are buying. All right, cool. Where is our support? Well, our support would be right here. So since our support could be right there, is right there, I'm going to look for my phone number areas right here. This is where, oh no, 0, like that. This is where, that's what I'm doing wrong. Boom. Okay, this is where the trade took off that y'all see on there to where I didn't know. I was doing all buys, but I understand why people would hop in sales because you saw this and you were going to go lower, high, low, lower, high, lower, high, and just shoot down. I get it. But the overall trend, this is why I stick with the overall trend because that's why. And this was the trade today that was placed. And there was no drawdown. So really you can just do this because there was no drawdown. It went one candle straight profit. Closed out. Easy day. So again, if you want the mentorship, go through whatever you need to go through to get all your questions answered. Come on over to the Instagram. Go ahead and message me. And mind you, I get a lot of messages, like a lot of messages. So be serious. Don't waste my time.
Sorry, I don't understand.
And here we go. All right, you see my chart?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been on TradingView lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Going over this was also one of my questions. So that's good that we're going over this.
Go ahead, give me your questions.
No, so they're kind of like scattered. It's like a little bit of this. I also have questions on the plus 500. Um, also on the NAS 100, like I asked, but like what is it under on the plus 500? Because I have hard time finding it. Well, not hard time finding it, it's just
So, okay, so plus 500 is just since you're only doing the demo account, I can just give you a different broker. Um,
I guess I could tell you there's more than one broker. That's just the broker I give clients because it's just like I don't want to give everybody a bunch of different brokers because there's thousands of brokers that you can use. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
I don't want to give you one broker and then give somebody a different broker and then somebody else a different broker. So I always just said I'm just gonna use plus 500 as a general broker. But hey, man, you can get on hankotrades.com and I'm gonna show you right here. I don't want you lost whatsoever. So we can do the same thing, Hanko Trades .com.
Go trade.
And you're gonna see this. Open a free trading account. And you said you want to trade NAS 100. They also have Bitcoin if you want crypto, Forex, Europe versus United States, gold or silver. This is silver. What is this? Oh, one of their little look and
Mhm.
whatever. So, and when it comes to Hanko trade, like I can answer some yes normal questions of Hanko trades, but if you ever need like in depth inside their system, this is where you come. You
Okay.
check now, you know what I mean? Because they can tell you, I can give you an answer, but I'm giving you their answer when they could just give you the answer. You know what I mean?
Correct.
They'll give it to
Hmm.
you way better, and they have your money. If you're, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't, you know what I mean? They have your money, so please use them for like, hey, it's something with something in Hanko Trade. I'm not
Uh-huh.
Hanko Trade support, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna just say, hey, I'll go to Hanko Trade and just go on their website, chat now, and whatever your question is about Hanko Trade,
Hmm.
this is your this is your thing. But let me close this.
Okay.
Come over here. All right, so you can obviously see they have Forex, all your pairs, indices. You said, Anthony, I want NAS 100, NAS USD, NAS 100 right here.
Gotcha.
If you ever wanted, US 30, all this stuff, but you want NAS 100 right here. You want crypto right here, commodities, which is gold, silver, lead, all that stuff. This is something literally, you could teach your kids, your family. Um, it's powerful, man. The
Okay.
Hanko trade.
Okay. So that
So,
was I'll switch over to that one, check that one out then.
mhm.
So yeah, like I said, my questions were a little scattered. The other thing I was gonna ask you is, do you ever look at the Forex calendar? Do you base your trades off the calendar?
No.
No.
And I'll tell you why. Um, when me and you were on our breaking down our chart, on our first Zoom call, not one time did I ever look at news. And
Hmm.
these trades were possible, and I didn't look at news one time.
Okay.
So why I don't want to confuse nobody and tell them, hey, pay like I could sit here and tell y'all, hey, yeah, pay attention to the news. When you wake up, turn your TV on and then listen to all what they're saying. But this I'm gonna be honest with you. This is really, really more high level, and I know I don't I dumb it down to make it more simpler, but understand this is very, very powerful information. There's really, really courses out there and mentors out there, and a bunch of people that are really push the narrative of you got to watch the news, you got to do this, you got to do that. You can go to a Forex convention that has 10,000 Forex traders or whatever. And I bet you, hundreds, most of them are, you got to look at the news, you got to do this, you got to do that. So I just want to set you different from everybody because I don't even want to put you in that mindset of talk about the news. I was like, I'm not even gonna talk about it because I need people to understand you can do this without the news. What the news is for is banks are making trillions of dollars. So if they know that if we let Americans trade in our if they're in our money ecosystem and they're able to trade, then why don't we own the news? We're the banks. We own why don't we just, hey, we have a script. This is what you say on the news. Say, hey, gold is bad or gold is good or NAS 100 is this, NAS 100 is that. So now we're going to get all of the world to do a buy or a sell. But as a bank, like that's why I tell people I trade a system. I don't trade strategies. So there's nothing that you could tell me on YouTube. There's nothing that you can tell me on the NAS 100 news or anything that's gonna tell me to do what I want to do with this market.
Okay.
I don't need all I need is my price action, because this is how they're making money. They're not making money on the news. So I'm cutting the middleman. I'm cutting the fact that they can manipulate me and control me. I'm cutting that off and saying, okay, so what is y'all's money doing? Because y'all are doing this the same. I'm looking at this. This is how their money moves. This is where my pennies are made, my dollars are made. This is where the bank's pennies and dollars are made. I'm not gonna be looking at the news. So that's why I don't teach news, because why? If you're traveling the world, you're making your money, pulling your money out. Let's just say you're out in Italy. Do you want to be looking for a TV, looking at some news? No. You know what I mean? You want to just look at your trade, look at your phone, pull up the chart. Where are we at? You know, if I feel like pulling out, I don't want to set you up, not for failure, but
Mm-hmm.
it's high level information, man. Just
Okay.
understand you don't need none of that.
Okay. So, and then one of my questions was also, can we go back to the charting, how you look at it? Because when I look at it, right now I'm focusing on like the last couple candles that just came out. That's what I'm looking at. But I see that you have your stuff even before, way before that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm looking at it wrong.
I got you. I got you. Give me 1 second. I'm texting you. 1 second. I got you. You're saying, how did I know before? I've been doing this a long time, man. I'm be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. So would I be lying if I was Steph Curry and I could just say, hey, I grab a random guy off the street and say, hey, you could shoot just like me? You know what I mean? I don't want to lie to you and just say, hey, you just do this and boom. I've been doing this a
Got it.
long time, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, and then you're gonna be like, okay, I understand what he's seeing. So if you just look at what I'm seeing and understand my eyes when you're going over and replaying these charts, go off of my words and go off of my off of what I'm doing on the chart, because that's really what I'm doing. I try to take the mindset off of I'm teaching you versus what am I doing? Like this is what I'm looking at. So all right, so just for 30 seconds, just see what I do, because I could do this real fast and you're gonna have the replay of it. Because I don't want to have any room for me to say there's any fluff or anything like that. I want to get straight to it. So I'm gonna go straight to the daily. We're obviously in main buys. I've always told everybody, look, when it comes to NAS 100, yes, I understand we're in sales, but understand we are in mainly buys because daily is the strongest. It's the strongest. This is where banks make their money, where they say we're gonna buy right here and we're gonna sell off right here. This is what banks do. So I want to do what they do. I know that we are in full buys when it comes to the daily. So this isn't even a question. I don't even have to do my whole chart thing, but the whole little text box, I can do that, but I want you to be better than that. That's just something that makes it easier for you. And yeah, man, like it's a cheat sheet. So I can't tell you what to do, but if I was you just now learning it and understanding it, so you don't get confused when you're doing all these breakdowns, you know where you're at because you have your cheat sheet right here saying, I don't need to look at the daily. I don't need to look at the 4 hour. I don't need to look at the 30 minute. I can just take my trade. Why am I even in this trade? Oh, because I have buy pressure, sell pressure. You know what? I'm going to do it for you, bro. I'm going to do it just because I want you to understand, like, don't treat that thing like it's for nothing. It's to help you. So daily buy. 4 hour buy. So let's just take off what's happened, today and yesterday. Yeah, we know the sales. Yeah, we know the buys. Let's just take this part out. This is what I'm doing. This is how I made my money. This is what I'm doing. So ignore this right here. We're just gonna go off the strength of everything is buys. So we don't have to even have the main trend is buys, but it has to come down and retrace. It can't just the market can't just shoot up. Like that's not even realistic. Like this is businesses, companies, Fortune 500 companies. This is billions and trillions of people's dollars, their lives. This is a
Okay.
lot of money, man. So it can't just shoot up. Every price has purpose. So since it has purpose, it has to come down and breathe. Like it has to let the price breathe, come down. So what is the banks gonna do? We all don't understand how long are we gonna come down. We don't know. But I know that if we come down to where it's about, pass right here, where you break this, like when you come up, come down, and you're passed right here. If you're way down here, let's talk about some sales. Let's talk about that. But man, the overall is buys. So that's why I kept saying I understand that to yesterday we're in sales. There's a reason we're in sales. The market had to sell. Look how long we've been buying since September, what is it, '02? And it's the 29th. We've been buying all month. We have to breathe. We need some sales. We need that. So I
Okay.
understand why them sales came. I'm gonna drop it down to the 30-minute because this is where I'm gonna take my trade. This is where I'm going to take my trade because banks aren't on the 5-minute and banks aren't on the 15-minute. All this that does, and I want to get that part out of your head real quick because I know people fall into that pitfall of what that does. I need people to understand that the 15 and the 5-minute, what it does is it's gonna chop you up in what to do. Buy, sell, buy, sell. It's gonna chop you up. Like
Okay.
banks love people that want to be scalpers and say, "Oh, I'm gonna make $1 million in 5 minutes." Go ahead. Go like they have full control of what to manipulate you with. And I don't want to even get into detail of me having the conversation of it's an emotional thing because you're gonna be like, it's an emotional thing. Banks, how do you they pay a lot of money with, psychology of people, of humans. So
Mhm.
they paid them to understand if we have the market way up here, what is the human mind thinking to press? We need to mess with people's mind. We need to mess with their mind emotionally. So that's where they chop you up. It's built off of it's emotions. If people are on, and this is something to where it's not just me and you, it's the country. How can we play with the country's mind so they're not in the market making money off of us? Because they're gonna make money to where it's in our profits. If countries are eating, now you're in our profits. But if it's just me and you, they don't care about us. They care about manipulating the mass. So this is how you manipulate the mass. But what you can't trick is the 4 hour in the daily because we still have to make as a bank, we can manipulate, we can do this, we can do that, we can do everything, every trick in the book, but at the end of the day, we still got to make our money.
Okay.
What I mean? We still have to bring like I don't care what happens in the news or what happens anywhere in this world. The banks have no emotion to what happens in the world. Understand that. I don't care what plane hits what or what goes on in this world. The banks have no emotion. Money has no emotion. When something bad happens in the world, I guarantee you, don't look at the news, look at the charts, you're going to see buys every single time because that means stores are going down in stocks, airplanes are going down, and everything's going down in stocks. So what does that mean? Buy, 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 buy. So I bet this was probably like that whenever you look up wherever COVID happened and all that, you're just gonna see you're just going down. But back to the main thing. I don't want to get off track, but I felt like everything that was in my head, I felt like you needed to understand all that.
Perfect.
Um, Back on track. So we have the buys. Why are we buying? We're gonna put the 30-minute buys, buys. And then why are we buying? Because we have buy pressure. So you don't ever have to ask the question of why am I buying? Or like you have your daily buy, 4 hour buy, 30-minute buy pressure. Simple. Never have that question of why am I buying? Um, Whole number where let me look. Oh, support. Support. I don't want to jump the gun. Yes, 4 hour. me take this off. I know you remember that support is buying all the time. Resistance is selling every time. Resistance is um, the ceiling of something. That means resistance, like you can't get past it. Support is buying. So buying. If we have all these buys, where's the support? All right, so our support is, we can clearly see right here.
So you're taking a trade off the 4-hour chart then?
I don't have to, but understand what's more powerful, a support on a 4-hour or a support on a 30-minute, and it's gonna be the same thing. Like I'm still getting, like, look, it's the same. This little tip right here is gonna be the same little tip on the 4-hour. So I
Okay.
don't have, so this is how you're able to like just travel and do whatever you want to do, because it takes 4 hours for these candlesticks to move. You know what I mean? So let's just say you got a 10-hour shift at work, and you don't want to look at the 1 hour or the 30-minute. You don't want to look at candlesticks for every 30 minutes. You want to look at them at the 4 hour. That is what banks can't manipulate, is price. I can manipulate every single thing in this world when price is right here, but how am I going to make my money as a bank? If I owned this whole thing set up, how do I make my money? I'm not gonna keep selling. I'm losing money. How do I make money? There's nothing I can manipulate. I need to make money. I have to make money. This is my game. I created it. I have to make money. That's where we come in.
Okay.
That's where we come in. Where I know you're gonna buy because you have to make money. But don't get me wrong, they make money on the sell too. They created this. They make money on the sell. But if I'm a trillion, let's just say I put $1 trillion in here right here, and I need to make, this is pure examples. If I need $1 trillion and I put a buy right here as a bank, and I need to make 10 trillion, I'm not gonna make 10 trillion bringing the market down. I'm not. I need 10 trillion to bring the market up. So, okay, I bring it up. I made my 10 trillion, I made 5 trillion here, 4 trillion here. That's not enough. I need more. Okay, let's, do our manipulation, act like we're doing sales. I'm gonna put this big candle because I understand that me and you are looking at the market. Everybody in the world's looking at this chart. So I'm gonna put this big candle. I'm gonna paint the picture of we're doing sales. This is strong sales. I'm gonna paint that picture. What am I gonna do? I understand that we are in full buys. You cannot break the system. This is why I call it a system, because this is not a strategy. Strategies will fail. Strategies are just hopping around on YouTube saying, oh, that strategy works. Let me try this. Oh, that strategy works. Let me try this. This is something to where my words, I take the conversation of, is this true about how he has this system? I'm only doing what me and you see. I can't change what they're doing. The dailies are buys. I can't change this. The 4 hours are buys. I can't change this. 30-minute buys. I can't change it. I can't do nothing about this market, but I understand we're in buy pressure, and I understand that there's a support. And I understand that I'm going to look for a whole number, because a bank that has trillions of dollars in it, you're not going to trade at 234,982 buys. And I got to tell 100 banks this. You're not going to tell them, hey, go to price 242,938 and go tell that to 100. I'm not going to do that. That doesn't work. That's not a system. I have to think like a bank. How are banks trading? This is what I'm coming with. This is why I built the system. You need a whole number. Okay, cool. A whole number. So what is that whole number that they had to send a mass text message out to? And let's just say, hey, I need everybody to person buys at 24,200. Okay, we're gonna do that. Where is that at? Oh, okay. Plant your number right there. We don't even need the support. We understand support. We understand support. We understand our whole number. So why would price just come straight down here where it did all this crazy manipulation in the market, telling all this stuff in the news, got this big handle right here? Why would it come all the way down here where this tiny, tiny little bit of price came right here and shoot straight off? Not even come a little bit down here, just shoot straight off. because we have an agenda. Like I said, money has no emotion. All money does is it needs to make money. So now it's time to make money. So now let's go get our 10 trillion. This is why I said I'm going to be buying because I understand that everybody is fooled. And I understand when people send me screenshots of, oh, I was in this sale. It's like, man, I can't control if you're not trading the system. I can't control what you do. If you're doing something crazy or doing something wild, and it's like, bro, I don't even think you're trading what we went over because it doesn't make sense. And
Okay.
why would you think that we're doing this when the
Okay.
system, I can't be faulty of this system. You see what I see. So if we have the same thing and you have the same whole number, and you're like, okay, Anthony, I feel like we're gonna be at the 200. Why? Well, there's a support. Oh, okay, cool. Why else? Oh, well, there's buy pressure. Okay, well, everything says buy. Anything else I can't control.
Okay. So
That's
in
why
this
I got this.
case, you'll wait for it to come and hit the support in order to do a buy.
I need some support because how do the banks know where so banks have to know we got to have some foundation because obviously our foundation didn't work right here. Obviously our foundation didn't work right here. Understand that yes, we are like not we, but there's people that are making, millions and billions. Okay, so we're not in the trillions, but people that are in the billions, everybody has their tax bracket. So people in the millions, yes, they are making some type of moves to where not this, but there has to be a yin and yang. There has to be a so the people that, and it's hard to say, who made the market. I don't know, but people that made this market, obviously it can't just be, oh, all we do is buy. They have people, the world, countries that are against them that are making their moves, yes, but we're not them. We're not countries. We're not the people that are making these sales happen. There has to be a yin and a yang that take them out. Whoever is doing all these buys. So whoever the yin and yang is, they're not strong enough and powerful enough to come down here. There must be some serious money. I don't know who. Chase Bank, you know what I mean? It could be them, it could be more people, it could be countries, but they're not letting price come down here. And how are they so powerful? Because they control the market. They're able to control most of the money. Whoever has the less money loses. Whoever has the most money wins. So the people that are losing has less money. How long can they bring the sales down? Well, this is what they did. They brought it here. It came up, failed. Brought it here, came up. They only got so far to where it's like, all right, now let's be serious. There's people that are really moving money, and that's where
Okay.
they just come in. That when it's a sharp turn, I want to know when they're going to be coming in. So I need to know support. Support. They have to have foundation. This foundation happened, it broke. This foundation happened, it broke. This foundation came up right here, it didn't break. So it has to be some big players right here to where it's like, all right, it's time to make our example that 10 trillion. It's
Okay.
time to take over.
Now, how how do I say it? You don't think it would keep on going down and break that support? Or how would you take it? How would you look at it? How would you do it?
Because I understand that I'm not taking sales. So it don't matter how many times it keeps breaking the support, I'm not going to be taking sales. I'm not looking at sales. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I understand, yes, you will get tricked into this. Yes, you will get tricked into this. Yes, you will get tricked. But let's just say let's just say like this isn't something to where it's like, oh, you're winning every single trade you take.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna lose. Everybody loses. What I is different from me and everybody else is I understand that, hey, if I have a bank account and it's at zero, how much am I gonna let it go negative? You know what I mean? If I don't want negative 200, I don't want negative 500. I don't want negative 1,000. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't, if you set 10 men up, everybody has a different negative that they're comfortable with. Somebody
Correct.
wants a negative 100, somebody's cool with a negative 1,000. That's the difference between people. I don't want negative 100. I don't want negative 200. So I'm just gonna pull out and say, okay, system didn't work today. Okay, right here, system didn't work today. But man,
Okay. So how many about like you personally, how about how many trades do you take a week?
I can't it depends on the market. So if this happens Monday, this happens Tuesday, this I can't control that this happened Wednesday. Let's just say. So if this didn't happen Wednesday or it didn't happen Thursday, but it happened Friday, then I have to take one trade. Because like I said, I don't control. I mean, yeah, I could take sales. I understand why we're selling because we needed to sell. So yeah, can I just comfortably just say, hey man, yeah, you could get in on these sales for sure. You can.
Okay.
But
Mm,
I don't want you to have I need you to understand and not be in the same mindset of the rest of the world and say, oh, we're selling, we're going to be doing that forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to understand why we're not and why the market's doing this. I need you to understand that we are mainly in buys and why we're in buys. So I'd rather you be in the right side of the traffic than on the wrong side of the traffic. It's like me and you can
Okay.
just run on the highway and just run on side the traffic, but eventually we're gonna get hit.
So a question. So you feel like it's gonna hit your support, and you just I guess you kind of answered it. Would you take a sell knowing that it should be going down for that buy?
Would I? If I feel it. If I feel I mean, the thing is if I do it and I lose, whose fault is it? Mine. That's the part where you cut another pitfall out. It's my fault. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If my system is telling me if I have all these buys and I take my sell, whose fault is it? You know what I mean? I can't blame the market. I can't blame the laptop, and this is the money that I'm taking care of my family with. So
Mm-hmm.
who can I blame? Me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, so you answered that question I had because like I said, I'd only be focusing on the last four candles, you know? But
Hmm.
you're looking at the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
have to because I need to understand why we're in buy. So I have to.
Okay.
But I mean, understand, like, to be honest with you, that didn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't take long for all that to happen. But understand the lower you go in time frames, the more your mind can get played with.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. Well, you helped me understand it more because, like I said, I would only focus on this little part of the charts, but you're looking at the whole thing.
Hmm.
So hopefully that's able to help me in the next
And
couple week
only
or
do
so.
your markups on TradingView. Don't do your markups on the broker. That's only to press buy and sell and put your money in. That's
Okay.
just so you have something, that's your bank. That's your buy and sell. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
But this is where if you're in Italy, Greece, Canada, and I need my laptop, let me mark up the chart. Let me see where I'm at. What's price doing? What's going on? That's what
Mm-hmm.
this is for. It's so much clearer, so much cleaner, so much fresh, so much, I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just need this for buy and sell. That's it. That's it. So it
Perfect.
doesn't matter what broker I use. Obviously, some are unregulated, some are regulated. You just do your due diligence because there's 1,000 of them. So you can just get on Google and say, hey, what broker? They're all the same. It's just which one do you what I can't tell you to go with Chase. I can't tell you to go with Navy. I can't tell you to go with Wells Fargo. I can't tell you to go with that's just how
Mm-hmm.
brokers are. You know what I mean? Um,
Okay.
Henko Trade is perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Um, what other questions do you have?
So that's it for this one. That's it for now.
Um,
That's
How
it.
are you liking the system, man? Honestly, how are you liking it? Like,
No, so like I said, I was focusing on the wrong part of the chart, just these
mhm,
few candles. I
yeah,
want to try this now and focus on the bigger picture now. So
hmm,
I was looking at it wrong, so I can't say it was working or I was doing okay because I was doing it completely wrong.
hmm,
So now I got the bigger picture, the better view, and I'm gonna implement all that now.
okay. Anything else you need?
No, man, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get on it and try this new way now.
All right. Just text me, whatever. Let me know anything else you need.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Enjoy your day, man.
Thanks, bro. You too.